Well,
if not, then you're looking with your light and you're like, oh fuck, something needs to be shot. You already got the light out. If you look, and a lot has to do also with light design. You also have SureFire Rogers, which is basically a syringe or an ice pick. All the major techniques center around those two holes, how you're actually holding the light. And of course, if you're dealing with something that has a bezel mounted, activation switch, like a Streamlight or something that's right there, there's going to be some stuff for that. But most of us are running something that has a tail cap. So thinking about how you use the light. Now obviously it's a little easier to explain from a law enforcement perspective. You generally, well, first off, what do you use the light for?
blinding people.
To identify, to navigate, to see where you're going. Also to dominate, because if I can literally take you down with that light, depending on the type of light I have. So, there's a couple of different reasons for using the light. But if we're searching, say for a suspect, or we're going through our house because we heard a noise, the light's already out. Most of us, if we're running a tail cap, if we're just looking around, or we've got our gun out, we're gonna hold it in some type of ice pick style grip. So when we're using that light like that, and then all of a sudden,
whoa!
All of a sudden the flare goes off. All of a sudden we see something that needs to be shot. Then generally what most people will tend to do, and truly a surprise if you look at, like, again, dash cam videos, probably the main thing we got. Most people would go, oh shit, and they'll draw the gun, and then they'll kick the gun out. And they'll either just hang out here in space somewhere, or they'll actually pull it back to some index. Be it, it's technically supposed to be a neck index where it rides just kind of right here in your jawbone to help index it directionally with the gun. And as your head comes down, you'll kind of find that sweet spot on your body. But the light's already out and we're already searching. Someone who has, say, a SureFire that will allow, you see on this little pin light, I've just wrapped some gaffer's tape so that if I want to use it in a grip, it gives me just enough purchase to be able to do that, mainly for demo purposes for classes. Because I'm personally not a big fan of the SureFire grip. If you're gonna do it, you gotta, again, make sure that the gear matches that technique, that you have a means to pull back on it reliably, and that the light per your hand size is not too big. Because again, I got small little midget sausage fingers, so trying to take that and put a gun in that is a lot for me to try to manipulate. So that's why something small like this little light. That's why you will generally see me go to some type of index, and it may just be on the side of my head, because I'm pretty good at orientating. Because all I'm trying to do really, I've already pulled the gun, so I know I'm about to shoot something. All I'm really doing is highlighting my sights. And this particular one has night sights. I got a center dot and a top dot, so I'm just picking up that front sight. And depending on the distance, I'm trying to get just enough. Like here, I can clearly see my blades as if it was daytime. If you're gonna run something, I mean, none of us are gonna search a building in a syringe grip. It's just not how we use lights. Also understanding the light. This is a poor example, but I prefer something that is either on or off with one setting for a defensive application light. Again, I've solved more problems with a flashlight than I have with a gun, because generally, one is, again, posturing. We solve a lot by posturing. So who walks around and goes, hey, you need something? Who does stuff like that?
Somebody in charge.
Well, generally
security,
cops.
yeah.
The perception is, oh, that dude must, because who carries a flashlight around? Most people associate that with law enforcement. So you already got some posturing going on. And then the light itself, if it's strong enough, I mean, you're literally someone's gonna go, shit, man. We've been doing it all night with Corey. Like, granted, that's a little ridiculous with 1,000 lumens, but even something like this that I think is 80 lumens, the problem though is this one's got multiple functions. Because again, going back to those applications of light, if I'm like, shit, somebody's in that tree line, and I'm moving, I don't want to just go, because what am I basically doing? I'm letting them know this is the line back to me. So if I know someone's in that tree line, I'm gonna be trying to move that light, but as I cycle through it, I'm not getting the light output that I'm expecting, because it's a multi-function light. That's why particularly a weapon light, on or off, that's it. Strobe, the problem is under the wrong conditions, the strobe is just as disorienting to you as it is to the person you're trying to disorient. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but the light choice is going to be important. A lot of people have a philosophy with knives that I have a utility knife and I have a defensive knife, and I don't pull a defensive knife out unless I'm about to cut somebody with it. That same philosophy can be brought over to lights, where you have a defensive light that's probably a CR123 high output, high lumen. Now 500 lumens is easy to do. And then a utility light, which might be a little Q light or some little light like this, or a little pin light, just for searching for stuff you dropped at the bar. But most of those lights in a pinch will work as well for defensive use. So pick a light, pick a technique, and again, it's not, oh, I'm only going to do neck index, because if I'm doing a Harry's and I'm a right-handed shooter and I come to the right side of cover and I can see my target, what do I have to keep in mind? Where my muzzle's at, right? Because I can see the target, but I haven't cleared. I got to lean out further because the light's further out than the gun is. Now, if I come on the left side of cover, that's okay. So here, I may want to go to a modified FBI and come down and be able to shoot something, presenting less of myself behind cover, or from behind cover. But make sure you have a good repertoire. Do you need to know all the 14 or 18, who knows how many techniques are out there? No. You're generally going to do either Harry's. The other thing is, understand that if you do a Harry's, which is just kind of basically mating up the backs of the wrist, that was designed for a weaver position. Because if I put this arm out and I bring this arm up and I drop that elbow, it locks in and simulates that push-pull that you're supposed to do with a weaver. When I do this and then I blade myself, as most of us shoot now I'm off and I have to bring that back center. So you have to be very conscious of where that, you're going to really have to over torque that. And this is not something that most people can really hold and do effectively for any time. But I can sit here and search with my gun, and then when something pops up, just punch out with it. That's how I'm used to shooting. All you're really doing when you're using a light is shooting one-handed. If you're using some type of SureFire Rogers technique, and you do get that second hand on the gun, you're still shooting one-handed. You're just assisting that grip is all you're doing. Does that make sense? Any particular questions about the lights or techniques? I mean, that was just down and dirty hip pocket, but like that light, you should carry on you all the time.
Yeah, that light, right?
That is insane.
What light? I'm blind.
I can't see.
That thing runs forever.
Now what about weapon mounted lights, like
you're still
pistol?
Weapon mounted lights are definitely a value added. Again, is that something you realistically do? If you realistically are going to carry a weapon mounted light for an everyday carry gun for defensive purposes, awesome, rock on. But you still need to carry this light, because again, I'm not going to go search through my house probably, looking up and down and poking into stuff. I shouldn't be doing that. If I need to pull a flashlight out because I don't have a threat yet, I don't need a gun out, I need a flashlight out, I need to have a secondary flashlight to pull out and search. And then if I need to, boom, I've already got it lit, I'm probably going to still be shooting this way. Now, if I'm law enforcement, or my alarm's going off, and my gun on my nightstand has a weapon mounted light and laser. Why? Because if I can do it that way, I want to. Because then I have both hands on the gun. If I need if I need to dominate someone with light, now holding them down with that light, and I can grab my phone, I can do all that one-handed. And I can call 911, do what I need to do, hold somebody back, hold a child back, whatever. It's certainly value added, but it doesn't replace a handheld light. It supplements a handheld light. As far as rifles, again, you have to think within the context of how are you using that rifle. How far can that light allow you to positively identify a threat? Because the light doesn't necessarily help you shoot better. It helps you identify what needs to be shot better. So am I really going to throw a beam out there and be able to identify at 300 meters that is a guy that has a weapon and needs to be shot? Probably not. Now, when we start getting into that, 0 to probably 125, 150 envelope, yeah, depending on the circumstances, it's a little better. Now, tonight's a good night because it is pitch-ass black. There's not really any moon, there's not really any stars. So when all these lights go off, you're not gonna be able to see shit. And think about, how you operate. When other than tonight, can you remember the last time you were in a situation that was truly this dark? Never. You're in your vehicle, you've got your dashboard lights kicking back, you've got the street lights, you're in your house, you got the red ready light on all your equipment, your television, you've got the clocks. There's ambient light. You've just gotten so accustomed to it in your everyday life, just like ambient noise, that you don't factor it in. If you're in your vehicle and down this road, you've got headlights, you've got people's house lights. Is that directional light that you can control? No. But when you guys are shooting, I could have came up here and I could take a shot on any of these targets. I could clearly see all these targets. Now, granted, they're white targets at night, which you're probably not going to have. It's going to be someone wearing clothes like this. Which, what is the hardest color to see at night?
Brown.
Blue.
A gray.
Right.
That's why, you know, I mean, we kind of joke with Arc'teryx and all that. That's what we found. Something in that gray spectrum, because again, black is actually very reflective, and it sticks out. True black.
Shoot me black.
Commercial, yeah, commercial black. You know, it's intimidating, and that's why SWAT teams and all use it, not because it's particularly concealing, especially in an urban environment where there is so much ambient light. But again, think of it how you're actually going to use it. If the light's out, and I don't know, and boom, oh shit, that needs to be shot. The light is there. I'm not going to ditch the light to get the gun. I'm going, because again, you know, most of you have probably heard, if you're searching for someone, you know, you change the height of the light and move it. While still, like if we were going to search this berm line, we don't want to do this and just search the top of the berm, because that whole line is coming back to us. Is someone really going to shoot that light out? Could they? Theoretically?
Yes.
Stare directly in this light.
Light.
They're going to shoot in the general direction of light. So if I'm standing right here and I got it out, while the FBI, if you actually read the FBI manuals, the way it's written, the agent will hold the lantern at, they were actually using fucking train lanterns. Like, that's how old that technique is. So yeah, that made perfect sense. But now when we have compact lights that we can move around and do stuff with, we want to do that. If we were going to search this berm, you know, I would probably section it off, still covering it all. I mean, this one's a little funky because it's a lateral line, but if we're going to search, say, that tree line, high, low, left, zigzag it, kind of like how you would put your tire on. Your lug nuts, you don't just do them all in a row. You do one here, one here, one there, one there, so it settles, but you get them all. Same thing. That allows you to move and to move the light. But if someone's sitting in that tree line, you know, 100 yards away, and you can't account for every what if. So you try to do what's going to work in most situations. Anything else? Any questions?
What about the technique of when you're about to fire,
Yeah.
you have the light on, that after you fire, I've seen some classes where you shut off the light and you shift your position.
Again, that'll be like everything. My answer's going to first be that that's situationally dependent. If I'm in my house and one dude's standing in my living room, I'm like, hey dude, you about to get shot. I kick my light on and he does this. The light's staying on and I'm riding him to the ground. Boom, 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 boom. The light's staying on. There's no reason for that light to go off. Now, if I'm in a searching function, or I'm patrolling the mountains of Afghanistan, or I'm searching a warehouse somewhere, then yeah. If I have a high suspicion that there's multiple people, like I have some type of intel that there's multiple guys, maybe. But what about those shots you just fired? That's going to kind of let people know a little bit where you're at. At that point, kind of the gig's up. Actually, the first time you kick that light on, anybody and anywhere within line of sight of us can see this light. They know something's up there. So if they just started dumping fire from behind me in this direction, based on where they see that light in that tree line, that's going to be effective to some point. Doesn't mean they're going to hit me, but that's going to make me go, what the shit? Then what am I probably going to go, oh fuck, I'm taking fire from here, and then boom. So again, it's situational. In that searching function, yes, intermediate light. In that, oh shit, there he is, no, you dominate him with light, you keep that light on him. Because again, he can't look into the light if you've got a quality flashlight, obviously.
Is it really going to rain now?
Yeah.
Yep. He's not going to look directly into the light, so that's kind of what you're counting on.